Let's get to it. Let's welcome Bob Angelo back to Philly Pressbox Radio. There he is.
There he is.
Hey, Bob.
How are you guys?
Great to see you,
Fantastic.
Bob.
Football season.
It is football season, my favorite time of year every year.
Me too.
Yeah, we knew that. We know you from the NFL Off Camera. That's this book right here, which you put out 2 years ago. It is terrific. A lot of great stories in there about your, 43 years working with NFL films?
43 plus, almost 44.
That is
awesome. Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, let's talk. Well, before we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to do something else. When I talked to you last week, we were out together at a local establishment, shall we say. Okay, it was Splits. It was Splits down in South Jersey. Boop's old hangout.
We
had a good time.
Beverages.
Yeah. And you showed me on your phone a picture from the last day that you worked with NFL Films. It was covering Super Bowl 52. Here it is right here. So what is going on right here? This was right before a pretty important play of that football game.
Well, Doug's got his head down examining his play sheet, and quarterback was on his way over. Nick Foles was on his way over. I was watching Nick approach. When he got there, he said, "What about Philly?" And Doug looked up and said, yeah, let's run it. And you know the rest of the story. I mean, touchdown, huge lead at halftime.
Yeah.
Patriots catch him in the second half, but the sound man who was standing in that picture next to me is a longtime Eagles fan, grew up in South Jersey. That's him on Doug's other shoulder, Mark Ritchie. And Mark says, "What do you think this play is going to be?" And I said, "Mark, I guarantee you the Patriots have never seen it, whatever it is." And lo and behold, Philly special. And it became the title of Sal Paolantonio's book. And it became one of the more memorable moments in Super Bowl history, certainly one of the big ones in Philadelphia's Super Bowl history.
I'll say. Bill, take it away.
Hey, Bob, NFL rules. Well, I'm going back to your NFL films times, and as you put your films together, NFL rules have changed again this year. One of the things that maybe some people think is wasteful, maybe they like the rule change, but to me, as you're putting a film together and you see those refs running on the field with the chains to measure, did he make it? Is it this far, this far? They did away with it.
I have no problem with that. It's so imprecise. And chains are chains are chains. There are people handling those chains on the sideline. One little mistake over there, and when they bring that thing out, there's no guarantee that it's going to be put down right. And it speeds up the game. The game is slow enough as it is. I have no problem with that, especially when they can get an accurate picture of where the nose of the football actually advanced. They can do that from the network cameras with the same technology that gives you the yellow lines. So for that reason, why not? Keep those guys over there. Some of the people bringing those chains out look like they have not been in a weight room for years.
They don't have to be.
Have just been eating nothing but mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh,
so I mean,
I miss the suspense.
Let them remain on the sideline. I like innovations that speed things up. Baseball has improved its whole situation. Handful of pretty simple changes. And
awesome.
I'd like to see the NFL keep pace.
Hey, Bob, let's talk a bit about the current Philadelphia Eagles. I asked you 8 or 9 days ago for your prediction about this Eagles season, and I'm going to put up what I found from the 19 or 20 guys that I did survey. You were one of just 3 folks who saw them going 13-4. You know they have a tough schedule, and everybody's going to be gunning for them, but you obviously think pretty highly about this Birds team. Why is that?
Well, I think defensively, they are very strong, even playing with 9.5 people, which is where they are right now. Here's what I saw against Dallas last week. I was optimistic that they could blow the Cowboys' doors off. I really expected kind of a big win. I thought maybe Dallas would score early. Eagles would then just kick their butts, and not so much.
Yeah.
Here are the reasons. No pass rush. Pressures, but pressures don't distract someone like Dak Prescott when he's got receivers such as C.D. Lamb running open. No pressures, which, of course, led Howie, to get on the phone this week and bring in Zadarius Smith. He's made the rounds in recent years. He's a pro. And they paid him a pro salary to come in for one season, but he's still a pass rush talent. And one of those edge rushers for hire who are still waiting out there, waiting for that phone call. I approve of that move. Number 2 would be coverage. That's the big area. Kaylee Ringo flunked his test in preseason with Jamar Chase. Adoree Jackson is, according to Vic Fangio, hanging on. I really think that Jacorian Bennett, am I saying that right?
Yep.
Who was picked, ironically, who was picked right before Kaylee Ringo, might be the best option of all. But when you see CeeDee Lamb running in the open field, running clear of even Quinyon Mitchell last week, and had of even CeeDee Lamb last week. I'm sorry, running free of Quinyon. I'm thinking we've got a problem here. I don't know that they have the solution on their roster right now. It was there. Isaiah Rodgers got away, and that is on Howie Roseman. He blew that one. That wouldn't have cost him that much to keep him from going to Minnesota. He was groomed to take over for Darius Slay and played a lot last year in Darius's place when Darius left the game with various minor injuries. And in case Eagles fans are still thinking, well, big play Slay, they shouldn't have let him get away. Did anybody see the New York Jets turn him into toast last week? I mean, he on man coverage way behind that receiver, easy touchdown. I told my friends in Pittsburgh, where do you see this stiff? I mean, there was a time when he could play very well, but big play Slay's days are gone. He'll never be that person again. Isaiah would have been. So that gets me to the fact that the Cowboys ran right through the Eagles' run defense. I'm concerned about the defense, and I'm sure you have something you follow up there.
Well, I was going to ask you what you thought of the play of the rookies from the linebacker spot. Both of those guys played pretty well.
Jihad Campbell is the real deal. What I'd like to see a little bit more, even in Fangio's defense, is I'd like to see him rush the quarterback from various places through various gaps. But the man can play. He ran 30 yards with that tight end to deflect that ball, to knock that ball away on what could have been a big catch down the seam. And, of course, Zach Bond picked up exactly where he left off last year. That is Howie's best move in the offseason, recognizing that off-ball linebackers matter in modern NFL defenses, especially in one like Fangio's, where they have to drop into coverage often. And bird dog people, it's called tracking them until the safeties put the cap on the top of the pattern. And, of course, Bond, no one's quicker to the sideline. And he's just – so inside linebackers played exceedingly well. Other people played well. Kept the Eagles in the game until they finally figured things out. And this came around in the second half. You could see the coverage scheme starting to click in. Even Makuba was keeping up with them by then. And, optimistic going forward.
Well, week 1 saw the Eagles offense targeting Devontae Smith just 3 times, all of those very short passes. A.J. Brown only once. That was in the fourth quarter, an 8-yard gain. And now we hear that Dallas Goedert has a little bit of a knee sprain. Don't know his status yet for this coming Sunday. Do the Eagles need to get these guys, the wide receivers, more involved going forward?
Yes, absolutely. I read a comment this week, I believe it was Kevin Patullo, saying, we don't want to force the ball to these guys. What in the hell is wrong with the Eagles? You're not forcing the ball to men who are making this many $1 million between them. They might be the best wide receiver tandem in football. Don't think of it as forcing, Kevin. Think of it as game planning to use your assets. Game planning to use 2 men who have the ability to get open, catch the ball when it hits them in the hands, and then afterwards, yards after catch, run with the ball when they have it in their hands. You're not forcing anything by taking advantage of your playmakers. Scheme to make your playmakers successful and then get them the ball. That was Bill Walsh's system with Joe Montana, and Joe bought into it. We need the same kind of thing here in Philadelphia. Don't waste these guys. And when I hear the word force, I'm thinking, Kevin, you're the offensive coordinator. You've got to come up with a better defense than that, because these men need to be involved in the game plan, especially if you're going to beat teams like the Kansas City Chiefs this week.
Bob, I thought the Eagles won this week.
They did, but I'm looking at them from my point of view, defending Super Bowl champions. Everybody's going to be laying for them, including Kansas City this week in Kansas City. I heard your previous guest say, Andy Reid teams don't lose 3 games in a row. Well, I think they're going to lose. I think the Eagles are going to beat them because Xavier Worthy will not play because he ran into his tight end. And he took, Tay-Tay's boyfriend or fiance took full credit for that.
Yep.
The other gentleman is, he's out for 6 weeks. Rashee Rice. So,
I didn't hear he was out for 6 weeks. Wow.
Oh yeah, suspended.
He's
so
suspended.
I mean, you've got all their speed not playing this week.
Yep.
Hollywood Brown is their only deep threat. Now, if Hollywood Brown can duplicate some of the routes that CeeDee Lamb ran, Eagles might have some trouble. And I'd hate to see them get one of those quick 7-point scores that kind of tilts the field there in their favor. But I don't see how the Chiefs are going to score more than the 20 points that they got against the Eagles in the Super Bowl in garbage time when the game was already decided. On the other side of the ball, and this is for Kevin Patullo, if you think you're going to beat the Eagles by running Saquon Barkley between the tackles all night, think back to the Super Bowl. They've got a pretty good defensive coordinator there as well. And Spagnuolo will do the same things that he did in the Super Bowl again this week. So, yes, the Eagles are 1-0. Yes, they are Super Bowl champions. I'm just looking out for their welfare. I want to see them win football games. And I think they can. That's why I said they can win 13 games this year. Yes, it is a difficult schedule, but the Eagles roster is loaded, except for the other cornerback position. And I have no idea how they're going to fix that here in the middle of the season. I heard that they brought in that journeyman Hilton who did time with the Steelers and the Browns. But again, we're talking about a gentleman in his late 20s, early 30s, probably early 30s. And I don't want to see him take over the slot corner role. I mean, I happen to think that Cooper DeJean plays that beautifully. Don't mess with what's working. Figure out how you're going to, I've also heard Avante Samuel Jr.'s name mentioned. I don't know how they're going to fix that, but that's a mess. And so my concerns are this year's team.
Hey, Bob, what did you think with how that game played out, the play of Jalen Hurts? Obviously, they did shut down Barkley, or that was their goal, and they did a decent job at it. Jalen made some big plays.
Which game now? Dallas or Kansas City? Super.
Dallas. Game's in the rear view mirror.
Good. I thought that the Eagles' offense, without Jalen Hurts, would have been pretty lost. Now, what I want to see is more opportunities for Jalen to get the ball to his playmakers, and not just on bubble screens, not just on swing passes, not on quick outs to Dallas Goedert if he plays or not. Right. And we're used to Dallas Goedert not being in the lineup. Yeah. He's missed a lot of games. I want to see that guy, Devontae Smith, catch passes in space and run after the catch. I want to see his teammate, A.J. Brown, do the same thing. 1 target for A.J. Brown last week. What in the hell is wrong with you, Kevin Patullo? No. Get the ball to your playmakers. He's one of your playmakers. He's a big, strong man whose safeties don't want to hit. I mean, he can catch the ball on the run at full speed and get 10 to 12 more yards, dragging people with him. I'm liking our chances against Kansas City. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like Super Bowl 50 or 59 was, but I do think the Eagles have the better roster, certainly are in better shape right now because of the situation with both speedy guys in Kansas City's offense being unavailable to them. And when I say unavailable, I mean Xavier is still day-to-day, but he's not going to play. He's got a separated shoulder. If he plays, he'll catch one ball. It'll get re-separated, and he'll miss the rest of the season. So I think Andy will be smart enough to hold him out this week. But it's going to be a tough game. Spags versus Fangio. I want to see Kevin Petullo rise to the occasion with his game plan. I want to see Nick Sirianni allow his game plan to go forward. And I want to see the Eagles win the damn thing with, of course, Mr. Spit right in the middle of it.
Yes. Hey, Bob, we could talk Eagles for another 2 hours with you, but I need to get your take on my alma mater. I'm talking, of course, about those number 2 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, a couple of blowout wins to start the season against a couple of lightweights, and probably another one this Saturday when Villanova goes to Happy Valley. But then after a bye week, it gets real. The Big Ten schedule opens up with a matchup against Oregon. So how good are Drew Aller, Katron Allen and company, and are they a legitimate championship contender?
Yes, they are. However, again, I'm going to point to the flaws that I saw.
Okay.
My son came to watch Penn State with me on opening day, and I said, Danny, I want to see 2 things. I want to see an efficient offense that gets in and out of the huddle, that runs plays on time, that stays on time. In other words, I don't want to see 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7 all day long. Number 2, and more importantly, I want to see the wide receiver room that they spent a lot of money on. And let's face it, college football is about money now. They spend a lot of NIL money and a lot of booster club money to get these people to come to Penn State. And sure enough, in week 1, I saw evidence of a wide receiver room. I saw wide receivers stem their routes, get open, and when the ball hit them in the hands, it stuck. Unlike last year, where nobody in that room could catch a ball. However, last week, I'm watching Drew Aller, and I'm thinking, Drew, you've got amazing arm talent. So why in God's earth can't you throw a swing pass? Why is it behind your guy, setting him up for a big hit? Why can't you lead him into open space down the sideline? And then number 2, when you've got somebody open, standing still down the middle, presenting a target, why is everything wild high? All this arm talent, don't get sloppy. You have the potential to A, win the Heisman Trophy, B, lead your team to a national championship game. And to me, anything short of a national championship game would be another major failure and another reason to call for the head coach to depart, take the first stage out of State College and be gone. But James Franklin has got it going on. He stole Ohio State's defensive coordinator. His defensive end looks like maybe the best pass rusher in America. The linebackers are still up to snuff, although I don't see a first-round pick in there. And, of course, they used the portal to bring in some defensive backs as well. And the offensive line looks pretty damn good. I don't see why Penn State can't finally get over that hump. It's been 4 decades since they were in a national championship game and won it. I think this is the year.
Well, Bob, I agree with you. I watched that game, and if you didn't watch the game and you just saw the box score 34-0, looks like a rout. That game wasn't a rout. They didn't play well. Drew Aller being the leader of that, he almost looked to me there for a while. I was commenting with a buddy that he was at practice. He didn't have any urgency to him. He took blame for that after the game, that he had to play better, and he did play a little better in the second half. Defensively, they weren't great in the first half either, but they were very good in the second half. And the wide receivers that you mentioned, they had some trouble getting separation early in that game as well. So definitely a lot of room to improve for that bunch, and doing it against Villanova isn't the answer. Agree
on all 3 points. And Villanova is just another JV game.
Right.
And, but Oregon's coming into a whiteout. However, again, Oregon lost a lot of people, but they've been busy in the portal and they've been busy acquiring new talent. It's going to be a great game. A 10-point advantage in Nittany Valley at night with that kind of noise.
Yeah.
It's a factor. It'll be full. It seats 107. They'll have all day to get loaded, and they will come in there ready to partay down and watch their Lions beat the defending Big Ten champs. And I think they will. Right. Beyond that, it all comes down to that one game at the Horseshoe with Ohio State again. And, as a long-suffering Penn State fan, Chet, you and me, I'm class of 74. I live and die with Penn State football, and gosh, I really think they've got a shot this year. I say that every year, but this year, much like they did in 1986, when the linebacker, I forget his name now,
Shane Conlon.
yes, he rallied them. He said, "Guys, let's all come back, and because we have a chance to win this thing next year." And Conlon got them all to come back, and they did, and they beat Vinny Testaverde. And it was that was 4 decades ago.
Yeah.
It's time. It's time, James Franklin. It's time, Penn State.
Bob, we got to wrap it up. Thank you so much. We are going to do this again later this season to talk about both Penn State and the Eagles, if that's okay with you.
I'll be there.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate
Thank you, man.
See ya.